So let me ask you, why do you think Trump got elected? Why do you think Trump won?
I think he won because the bottom 50% of the population is getting screwed by both parties.
Both parties?
Both parties.
Really?
Yes, I do, because of the way that our economy is structured, which means that virtually all the money goes to the top and virtually none of the money goes to the people on the bottom.
Why, though?
Because of the laws and the regulations.
So why do you think so many blacks, why do you think so many Hispanics voted for Trump like we've never seen before? So why do you think the poor, low, middle-income support for Trump skyrocketed, where Kamala Harris, who is, according to her, African-American, Jamaican, Indian, we don't know what she is, or Biden, why is it that even with her, she lost 7 battleground states and she lost the majority? Why do you think that is? Why do you think black people and Hispanics trusted a white guy, Trump, Republican, more than they trusted an African-American lady to solve their problem?
I think people were really unhappy with the status quo, and I think they voted for not the status quo. I actually believe that that if voting for Bernie was an option, he would have won.
Against Trump?
Yeah, because they're both against the status quo. They're both against, well, I mean, they both say they're against corporations controlling the country. I mean, I personally believe that it's in words only in terms of Trump, but I think in terms of Bernie, I think he genuinely would want, would work on reducing corporate influence. I mean, the whole, when we talk about capitalism, capitalism ends up having a small number of people accumulate a huge amount of wealth, and then you have the Supreme Court saying that, well, money's the same as free speech, and therefore we can't regulate spending in elections. And what we have in our country is a system of legalized bribery, and it used to be that the corporations and the rich and the wealthy were influencing legislation, and they were influencing who gets elected, and now they are who's getting elected. And I would rather see a representation of what the country actually is. I mean, the country is not just 100,000 really, 100,000? Yeah, or I don't know, 10,000 really, really wealthy people. The country represents a very broad swath, and a representative democracy, that's what there ought to be running the country. But we have elections that are financed by millionaires, billionaires, and we end up with a government that favors that class of people.
Does that include Bernie?
Does that include Bernie?
Was Bernie funded by rich people?
No.
No, he wasn't. Do you remember that exchange when Hegseth asked him a question? I don't know who it was, Rob, when he says, I don't know who it was. Somebody asked him and said, I'm sorry, your campaign, 45% of your campaign was from Big Pharma. I don't know if you remember that one. Do you remember that one when he was...
No, I don't remember. Well, who's 45% of?
I don't know what the percentage.
Whose campaign was from Big Pharma?
Bernie Sanders. We'll find it for
that is absolutely,
totally. We'll find
100, 1,000% incorrect.
Well, I mean, he got very upset about it because, but even with him, here's a socialist that's worth $10 million. He's a pretty rich guy. He used to say millionaires and billionaires. Now he no longer says millionaires and billionaires. Why did he drop millionaires?
What?
Ben.
Because he wrote a book and he got $1 million or
Ben,
whatever.
You can.
I was helping on Bernie's campaigin.
Okay.
And
I think he got screwed, by the way, just so you know, by Hillary Clinton.
He
if
did.
You ask me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I like Bernie.
I do too.
Yeah.
And
I just don't think he's good for the economy. I really like Bernie. I think he's a good guy. I just don't think he's good for the economy.
I think he would be good for an economy that works for all Americans instead of just the upper crust like you and me.
I think in 2000, when you were selling your company, you wouldn't have voted for Bernie.
Absolutely, I would have voted for Bernie. I totally would have voted for Bernie. I voted for Bernie when he was mayor, when he first ran for mayor of Burlington.
If capital gains went to 80% and you sold your company, you're okay with that?
Yes, I am okay with that because I do not believe that we should have a country where, 0.1% of the population owns 90% of the wealth?
You're part of the 0.1%, and you don't want to give up your wealth. You're still keeping it. Here's your friend Bernie. Rob, can you play this clip? Watch this clip.
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? That's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies; it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
And
protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would come. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money
contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
you were
not a nickel from corporate PACs.
You were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in the industry.
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right, but
Bernie didn't like that.
You have not answered. Last question.
So, again, the hypocrisy in politics is a little bit frustrating because I understand Bernie says, well, we got to do the millionaires and billionaire class. The moment he becomes a millionaire, he drops the millionaire. He just wants to bash the billionaires now. I don't want to take any money. 1.5 million comes. The eventual challenge is the hypocrisy that shows up. And I think that's the part that Americans are tired of it. They're just sick of the games that politicians play. And they're eventually saying they're done with it.
When I was working with Bernie, he was saying billionaires should not exist. And, that struck me as kind of weird. I mean, I said, why shouldn't billionaires exist? Why shouldn't we have billionaires? And then I realized that nobody needs that kind of money. And how can you accumulate that kind of wealth when you've got so many other people that are barely getting by? Why shouldn't we have a system? It is kind of peculiarly American. I don't believe that kind of spread exists in a lot of other countries, in a lot of European countries.
Yeah, because we actually believe in free enterprise and free market, and we allow you to build it as big as you want. And here's the crazy thing, Ben. Very crazy thing.
I mean, there's free enterprise in any of the Scandinavian countries.
Not at the levels that we have. Not at the levels that we have. We recognize guys like you who, even if you're a socialist, we recognize guys like you who took a ice cream company.
Hey, speaking of ice cream, you got a spoon?
You got one too? I'm good with it. I got you a spoon.
Well, I don't see the spoon.
Where'd you? Humberto probably took the spoon and he's having ice cream in the back end. So I got mine over here. Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.